Welcome to the Healthy Christian Podcast. This podcast is dedicated to empowering Christians to live a fulfilled life by integrating biblical principles with practical steps. Whether you're seeking to deepen your faith, enhance your physical health, or improve your overall well-being, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome to the Healthy Christian Podcast. This is Season 3, Episode 10. We've been talking about in this season how to be healthy mentally. Really great conversation. And today we are going to be talking about the word lovely. What does it mean to be lovely? What does the Bible mean when it talks about this word lovely, and how it's important for us to be healthy mentally by focusing on the things that are lovely. So let's dive in to this word. We've been reading a passage from Philippians chapter 4, where it talks about, finally, brothers, whatever is true, honorable, just, pure, and whatever is lovely, to focus on these things. So as you begin to dive into this word lovely, it's not used a lot throughout the Bible. This word is really diving into this passage, and it's talking about something that is pleasing or agreeable, somebody or someone that is friendly towards. So this word lovely, to focus on the things that are lovely, is to focus on the things that are pleasing about someone or pleasing about a situation, the things that are agreeable. So we're going to agree about something, and someone that is so friendly that you can approach them very easily. There's someone that, even in a disagreement, that you don't have a problem talking to and approaching, and they seem very open and honest and transparent. This is this word lovely that we are talking about, that God is asking us to focus on. I remember when I first started working on cars for a living. I had my first job working on cars, and I come out of college studying the trade, and now I'm applying it to the real life. And I'm working, start my first job at a car dealership, and we had two bosses. They call them shop foremans, and one of them was easily approachable, always in the shop, walking around, talking to the techs, finding out how he can help, diving in, talking to about the cars and about the situation. And the other one was always in the office. I mean, sometimes his door was shut, but always in the office. Very rarely would this guy come out of the office. And when he did, you knew that there was a problem. And there was a situation that he was going to reprimand you on and not exactly put you down, but it wasn't exciting when his presence was around. You knew when he came out of the office, there was a problem, there was trouble that you were going to have to deal with. But he was so knowledgeable. I mean, this guy had been working on cars for over 30 years, knew the trade, knew the cars inside and out. He was a guy, if you had a problem, you wanted to talk to, because he could answer it so easily. And I remember working on a car, having a problem. The one shop foreman who was so friendly, we couldn't figure it out. He's helping me. And he's like, hey, you know what? Go talk to so-and-so in the office. And immediately my heart sunk. And I'm like, no, I don't want to talk to him. This guy's scary. He was a big guy in stature too. And so I felt so intimidated. But I knew he would have the answer, and I knew he'd be able to help me. And I remember walking to his office. And as I'm walking, I'm getting more nervous. I'm starting to sweat. My heart is pounding just because I had to talk to my boss about a problem that I knew he had the answer to help. And so this is somebody I would probably describe as not somebody that's lovely to be around. If your heart is beating and you feel super scared and overwhelmed to approach somebody and to be around them, this is the opposite of what I believe the scripture is saying that we should be as individuals, and that we should assume other people to be and to focus on. So this is a really big subject when God is telling us to focus on the things that are lovely, that is going to help our mental health. This is a really big conversation, because we don't want to be the kind of person that people are afraid of, that they're scared to approach us. We want to be the kind of person that people are willing to approach us. And when they think about a situation, they're like, you know what? I can go and talk to this person and we'll be able to work it out. So a key point that I want you to take away from this word lovely is to ask yourself, are you approachable? Are you approachable? Can someone come up to you and ask you a question? Can people give you feedback? Can people ask you for help? Or do you find yourself avoiding people? Maybe other people avoid you because they don't want to have to ask you a question. If you are a boss, if you are a leader, how often do the people that you oversee, how often do they come to you for questions? How often do you find yourself in the middle of problem solving and helping your team overcome a situation? Or maybe you're not even a boss. Maybe you have some bosses, and are those bosses approachable? Do you feel like you can go up to them? And if they are, what kind of qualities makes them approachable? Those are the kind of qualities that you want to duplicate in your own life. That way your peers and your coworkers feel like that they can come to you for help and support, and they can ping ideas off of you. A lot of times we don't want to be approachable because we have our own problems. We have our own things that we're trying to overcome and do. But really, God's asking us to be approachable. He's asking us to be lovely, to be someone that in a time of need, someone can come to us. And as a Christian, as someone who is imaging God, we want to image him correctly because God is approachable. God is someone that wants to hear from us. He wants to have a relationship with us and for us to share what's happening in our life, how we feel, and to come to him because he is a good father. So if we're going to image him well, we have to focus on these things. We have to focus on working on being approachable. A lot of times you'll hear people talk about your face is saying a lot. A lot of times our face is not approachable. The way we look, the face that we're making, even though we may not be saying words, your body language and your face could really give off the kind of words or vibe of don't talk to me, don't come near me, I don't want to be having this conversation. But we need to be approachable because God is asking us to make a difference in people's lives. And when we do make a difference in people's lives, not only do we feel good about it, but it helps us realize the good that is in this world. So one of the things that we can do to help with this, to help us be more approachable, is we have to train our mind to focus on the things that are approachable in other people. Because if we can apply that in our life, we have to first realize the good and see it, and it can help model it. So we have Jesus as our perfect example, but in the real world, who are people that you know that you can go to and ask for help? Maybe it's a parent, a mentor, father figure, mother figure in your life, a coworker that you really admire, that you feel like you can talk to very easily. What are the qualities about that person that you would want to duplicate, that you would want to have in your life? And begin to ask people how you can grow in that area. So these are some practical next steps that we can do, is ask people for feedback on how you can be a more approachable person. And I want to encourage you to ask for specific feedback when you ask people to help you grow in your life. Say, hey, I want to be more of this. I want to be a person that my face says that I care. Even though your words may be saying that you care, hey, I want to look empathetic. Begin to ask people to give you specific feedback. So when your face is not showing that you care, you can get some friends that can nudge you to say, hey, watch your face, or watch your tone, or watch how you're quickly responding to situations. Because this is going to open up so many opportunities for you and in your life to help and make a difference in people if they know that you are approachable. So find these qualities in other people that you admire. And I also want to encourage you to approach more people. So in my scenario, I remember it was so difficult for me to reach out to that boss that was always in the office. And it was really hard to build a relationship with him because I never went into his office and talked to him. But as I began to go to his office more, as I began to learn how he wanted to be communicated to, is I began to build a relationship with him to the point where it took me a year, but a year later, I had confidence in coming to him. And he was no longer scary, and he was an approachable person because I was intentional on building that relationship and finding ways to approach him. So you have to start on neutral ground. To approach someone who is not an approachable person, you have to first start on what is lovely, what is good, what is agreeable about that person that you can come in and connect with first. And again, this is not being fake. This is not just, hey, I'm going to make fake conversations so we can get along. It's like, no, truly understanding who that person is, what they have going on in their life, and finding the common ground that you can connect with them first before getting into the things that need help or problem solved. This will make a massive difference in your life. So if you are a leader, this is key. Make sure you're finding time with the people that you oversee to connect with them and find ways to connect with them in different ways. And also to connect with your boss, connect with your oversight, find ways to connect with them, not always around work, not always around tasks or problems. Maybe connect with them about wins and solutions and things that y'all have overcome throughout the year and in your relationship. So, hey, a really good resource that is very helpful with this, and it's a book called Loving Messy People. Loving Messy People is a really good Christian resource for you to dive into that can help you begin to have some good principles around the concept of, you know what, I'm not always going to agree with someone, I'm not always going to be in loving, acceptable scenarios, but how do I love? How do I create a loving environment in maybe an unloving situation? This book can really help give you some thoughts and practical things to think about. And also, again, just meditate on Philippians 4. Think about these things. Let this be your focus. When you focus on what is lovely, acceptable, you'll begin to see these things in other people and in other situations that will help you grow and to help you be healthy mentally. Because when you're healthy with your thinking, you can change your life. Hope you find this encouraging, and I look forward to hearing from you soon on the great ways this has impacted your life. Thank you for tuning in to the Healthy Christian Podcast. Now it's your turn to put these principles we've discussed into action. We'd love to hear how they've impacted you. Please rate, review, and share the podcast with others. Join us on social media to continue the conversation and share your insights. Until next time, stay healthy.